Nobody ever told you this, but I will now. What keeps you poor isn't a lack of money. It's a surplus of obedience. It's this addiction to doing everything right, exactly as they told you. Study hard, get your degree, find a job, pay your bills on time, and pray there's something left at the end of the month. But that only earns you a permanent spot in the line of the frustrated. The truth is, the system rewards rule breakers, not those who follow all of them. The world you were taught to obey was designed to keep you on your knees. And who taught you that? The very people who profit from your submission. This isn't self-help. This is harsh reality. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's true. School trained you to be predictable. Society rewarded you for obedience. Your parents praised you for behaving. And all of that created a fearful adult who confuses stability with safety and responsibility with submission. You think you're being smart by staying out of debt and paying everything on time. But the banks, drowning in billions of dollars in debt, are the ones lending you money and profiting off your interest. You do everything right and still struggle financially, never realizing that right was designed by people who were born on the winning side of the game. While you chase financial safety, they're leveraging billions and building wealth with money that isn't even theirs. The school system didn't teach you how to build wealth. It taught you how to follow orders, to raise your hand for permission, to memorize useless facts, to compete for grades instead of real-world results. You left school with a diploma, but without knowing how taxes, credit, or compound interest work. Why? Because the system doesn't need wealthy thinkers. It needs useful workers. Workers who don't ask why. And when you obey, they reward you with a fixed salary, fixed by a ceiling, because that's exactly where they want to keep you. The real players accumulate assets, wealth that's invisible to those who only understand paychecks. The rich don't think in wages. They think in equity, ownership, and scale. While you save pennies on coffee, they use other people's money to scale companies. Here's a truth. The poor are afraid of owing. The rich thrive by owing strategically. You think security means no debt, but true control only comes when you stop playing the obedient game and start understanding the rules behind the curtain. Here's a fact. 70% of U.S. millionaires are self-made. What do they have in common? They broke the obedience script. They built freedom, not reputation. Being known as a great employee only ensures you'll stay on someone else's payroll forever. And here, as a quote to tattoo on your mind, those who follow all the rules live inside the prison of the system. This good behavior mindset has deep roots. It was designed during the Industrial Revolution when factory owners needed workers, not thinkers or entrepreneurs. So they built a school system modeled after factories, standardized curriculum, bells, rewards, and punishments, all to create punctual, obedient labor. School wasn't built to free your mind. It was built to mold it into a cog. The Prussian model that shaped global education had one mission: produce soldiers and workers, not thinkers. That's why error is punished, and risk-taking is discouraged. In school, mistakes are punished. In life, mistakes are your greatest teacher. While you were memorizing for tests, the rule breakers were learning to sell, lead, and negotiate. You were conditioned to seek stability. They were trained to manage risk. The most vicious part: school taught you to compete with everyone, except the real enemy: financial ignorance. Behavioral economics shows that humans don't make financial decisions based on logic, but fear, a habit, and short-term rewards. And guess what school never taught you to manage? Impulse, The good student brain is hardwired to seek emotional safety, not exponential growth. The result? Millions of adults stuck in cycles of scarcity, despite degrees on the wall. You're not poor because you earn little. You're poor because you fear losing the little you have. Stanford studies prove that the most successful people are those who delay gratification. But the system taught you the opposite. Chase the dream job after college. Trade 5 days of life for 2 days of fake freedom and call it stability. The obedient mind wants a reward now. The wealthy mind plants seeds for generations, and psychology confirms it. Fear of social judgment paralyzes out-of-the-box decisions, and school amplified this through grades, rankings, and public shaming. They trained you to value approval over evolution. This made you manageable and rationally poor. Linear thinking builds small lives. Exponential thinking builds empires. While the obedient mind saves for a car, the strategic mind invests and lets the asset buy the car. The hard worker mindset is binary: work or rest. The wealth builder's mindset is compounded: leverage, delegate, multiply. Real wealth isn't created through hours. It's created through strategic allocation of resources. Poor minds work for money. Rich minds make money work without asking permission. Obedience is the invisible poison that paralyzes generations. The tragedy? It looks like virtue, like discipline, like maturity, but it's just fear dressed as responsibility. Look around. The most obedient kids in class are now the most afraid to ask for a raise. The ones who save on coffee but drown in car debt. The ones who studied the hardest but prospered the least. Obedient people pay their bills on time, but never learn how to make money pay theirs. In real life, the obedient follow outdated rules. They save while the dollar melts. They invest only in savings accounts. They work by the hour and retire by age. They buy homes they can't afford and pay taxes like they're a penance. While you ask for permission to live, others rewrite the rules. No one gets rich being the model employee. The wealthy are those who create value, not follow spreadsheets. They question, fail, learn, and build again. The obedient mind gives you a sailing. The strategic mind gives you wings. The mentally poor fear loss. The mentally rich seek growth. Obedience blocks entrepreneurship, smart investing, and risk management, all required for real growth. Because growth means friction, and obedient people were trained to avoid friction at all costs. Result? They die with a safe life and an empty account. You don't break obedience with more studying. You break it with exposure, with risk, with courage. Motivational quotes won't cut it. You have to live outside the mental program. Your brain was wired for survival, not prosperity. The obedient brain is the caveman brain, avoiding risk, craving approval, seeking certainty. But wealth, growth, and freedom live on the other side of all that. To break free, you need 3 things. 1. Redefine risk. Obedient minds fear entrepreneurship, but not the 40-year job they could lose tomorrow. Risk isn't doing something bold. It's not understanding the game. 2. Relearn how to fail. Obedient minds avoid error like death, but in wealth building, early and cheap mistakes are your best teachers. 3. Reframe shame. Obedient minds fear looking dumb, but greatness always looks foolish to mediocrity. Looking stupid is often the price geniuses pay for freedom. What truly changes your life isn't budgeting. It's identity shift. You must start thinking like an owner, investor, builder. Stop asking, how much does this cost? And start asking, how much does this return? Wealth is built through vision, action, and patience, none of which grow in an obedient mind. You weren't born to follow rules. You were born to build systems. Maybe your biggest problem isn't lack of money. It's too much obedience. You tried to do everything right, but the truth is, those who obey too much never build anything of their own. You were told, get good grades, don't talk back, go to college, get a job, buy a house, retire with dignity. But somewhere along that path, you lost the plot. You were trained to wait. For promotions, for approval, for someone to save you. But no one's coming. The world doesn't reward obedience. It rewards boldness, questioning, risk-taking. The true legacy builders are those who break the script. Forgive yourself for believing that being good was the way. We were all misled. But now, you know. And with that knowledge, you have a choice. Keep trying to please a system that doesn't care. Or finally, free yourself. Freedom has a price. It'll hurt. People will call you crazy, ungrateful, irresponsible. But that pain is the baptism of autonomy. You're only reborn when you kill the obedient version of yourself. The life you want won't come with applause. It comes with resistance. Every time you feel fear for stepping off script, remember, fear is the sign you're leaving the program. And that's the only path to freedom. In the end, the real prison was never money. It was the fear of thinking differently. School trained you for it. Society rewarded you for it. But now you know that a right path you were taught is exactly what keeps you broke. Broken money, vision, and courage. Obedience is the source code of mediocrity. While you follow the manual, others rewrite the rules and profit from it. You can keep believing success comes from following instructions, or you can start creating your own logic. The choice is yours. And if this message hit you deep, comment below. I woke up. That way I'll know you're on the side that's breaking free.